Thanks for tuning in for another edition of the Vires and Numeris podcast presented by Bryer.io, a Bryer.io production. Quick shout out here. I start every episode like this to our sponsors, as you can see them scrolling across as I read them off here. Special thanks to Thunder Games. Thunder Games creates games that integrate Bitcoin and process payments via the Lightning Network. They're actually I'm having the creator on the podcast for next. He's coming on Sunday, so it'll be out next week. They have they have numerous different games and run their own node. If you wish to connect, their public key is available over at thnDR.games/about. Along with their Telegram and social media, Thunder Games are making mobile games which enable players to win Bitcoin for free using the Lightning Network to win prizes. Check them out, thnDR.games today. The Bob Shop, the most diverse blockchain and crypto clothing store on the web. I love these guys, and I had to have a little chuckle. I ordered I ordered a shirt from them the other day. Already here, cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin logo, a play on the California deal. I think so. I really like what they have over there. Check them out. They have all sorts of stuff, very diverse, lots of different projects. Check them out, bobcrypto.com. That's BOBCRYPTO.co. Vinxcoin. Vinxcoin is the world's first decentralized fine French wine and vineyard-backed security token offering STO, where anyone can be a fine French wine and vineyard owner from the comfort of their own home. Vinx removes the high-cost barrier to entry to French wine and vineyard ownership markets. Check them out at vinxcoin.com. Trios. What is Trios? Trios is an economy and an ecosystem. Trios is a direct reference to decentralized money that will power a new economy. In the future, the term Trios will become synonymous with cryptocurrency and virtual financial assets, VFAs, their payment methods, their ecosystem, and their general use as both a utility and a store of value. Check them out at trios.io. Charon Coins. You found the brick-and-mortar financial institution where you can safely trade dollars for Bitcoin, USD to BTC over the counter and person to person. They facilitate transactions of all sizes, including high volume transactions. Their headquarters is located in Milwaukee, serving the MKE areas of Lakefront, Eastside, River West, and Waukesha County. More than just being an OTC location, they're here to educate you about Bitcoin, wallets, blockchain, crypto, security, and platforms. If you're in the Milwaukee area, you can also check out their Bitcoin ATM with more to come soon. Visit Charon Coins, that's CharonCoins.com. Bitcoin Store of Value. Bitcoin SOV is an emerging community-driven project that is a decentralized team the world over. It is a proof of work mineable ERC20 and has a deflationary design with token burns to ensure your value is stored over time. Check out their site at bsov.io. Lucio Paletti, a digital artist that did the Andy Warhol on my wall to buy Bitcoin play there. He's a self-described propagandist known for his iconic Bitcoin artworks. Lucio's number one goal is to spread the message that Bitcoin is better money. Check out Lucio Paletti. That's LuchoPoletti.com. And Flashcoin, lastly, is a reinvention of Litecoin built to scale for worldwide commerce and fast enough to handle everyday transactions. The flexible and easy to integrate core code allows exchanges and wallets to add Flash to their platform within hours. With a settlement time of 5 seconds and consensus within 2 minutes, anyone, anywhere can use Flash Mobile Wallet as easy as cash or credit card. Visit Flashcoin, that's FLASHCOIN.io. And remember, nothing written or spoken on Bryer.io is financial advice. Always DYOR, do your own research. You are the captain of your financial ship. You are in control of your financial sovereignty. And please enjoy this episode. Welcome back for episode 18 of the Vires and Numeris podcast. Today I'm lucky to have Jack Everitt on of Thunder.games. He's an entrepreneur, developer, and Bitcoin Lightning Network fan. Welcome to the show today, sir.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. You and I have been friends just for a few months, so I'm always interested in people that are doing stuff in Bitcoin, and love technology. So it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a chat.
Yeah. So you're over there in London. You're the first Londoner I've had on the podcast. What's going on? Just real quick with the obviously Corona and all that stuff. Are you guys able to? What's it like right now? You able to get out and do some things and stuff like that, or are you guys on lockdown, like kind of like America, or?
Yeah, I think it's the same everywhere, isn't it? It's basically you can only go out to exercise and to buy food.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to have, I think you're only allowed to have two people in a car at once or something. And if you go for an exercise, you're only allowed to go with people in your household.
Yeah, it's a bit strange time, so I was just curious what's going on.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to start putting the states are like here in the the U.S. is we have 50 states, and states' rights used to be a big thing here, but then the federal government kind of they do their own thing too. But some of the states are starting to put people back to work or let people go back to work. So I was interested in what's going on over there. So for the people that don't know, you've developed an app which is available in the Apple iOS App Store and also in the Google in Android Google Play Store. Do you just want to give like a quick? I actually was playing the Bitcoin bounce game a little bit during this. Well, we stuck in the house a little bit. Are all of the games around 150 megabytes? I think that's what that one is. Are they mostly smaller, downloads or whatever?
So yeah, the specifically about the size of that game is actually it shouldn't be that big. It should only be about 50 megabytes.
Okay.
But I've got a bit of a sort of bug with that side of it. Some next couple of updates will be much smaller, so it's much easier to download. Yeah, Bitcoin Bounce is something that I created to onboard people to Bitcoin via the Lightning Network. So my friends who work in London are all in banks and insurance, and they think Bitcoin's stupid and a scam or like a pyramid scheme. They don't really understand because they work in the banks. So I wanted to make a game that I could just give them, and then they could just play it, and they didn't have to really learn anything. And then they win some Bitcoin, and then they've got some. So without realizing, I've turned them into a Bitcoiner. Literally, because in the game you just win some Bitcoin, and you win it, and you've got it.
Right.
It's kind of like I'm trying to stealthily get them into it.
I love that.
I think the next sort of adoption phase will be like there's so many people who don't really understand Bitcoin or how to use it, and I think there's just going to be a huge wave of people being onboarded, and I think the Lightning Network is the way forward for that because it's so much easier to use.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I just wanted to get that, let everyone introduce you, let everyone know who you are real quick and all that. Where did you grow up? I always like to get, a little backstory on my guests too.
So yeah, I grew up just in London and just had a normal middle class family, didn't get into any trouble. Went to university in Norwich, did computer science and computer graphics, and then worked in the special effects industry for a bit.
Very cool. And so you were, what kind of student would you say you were?
I used to drink a lot. I would just say I was.
That makes two of us.
Always going out. I used to leave my coursework to the last minute. I used to be hungover and couldn't go to lectures. I was the worst student. To be totally honest.
Yeah, we would have been a bad pair back in the day. It sounds like. Yeah, I was a little bit like that as well. So when did you really get interested in tech? Were you like a gamer as a kid, or when did that happen?
Yeah, so I was always into computer games, always playing with my friends. Had a NES, a SNES, N64, PlayStation. Used to play PC games, and I basically was always into games. the university course I picked was computer science with computer graphics. So I was thinking about getting into the games industry. So I've always been into computers ever since I can remember, in games.
Yeah, what was that like studying computer science back? I mean, I don't know when you were in school, but was there any sort of idea of like digital money yet when you were looking at it?
No, not at all. There was not even really uh, virtual currencies. Like how in modern mobile games you have the virtual currencies that you can buy. It wasn't even really a thing in games. You didn't really collect coins or whatever to buy stuff. They were your points. So
Right.
they weren't even. Yeah, when I was growing up and it's university, there wasn't even the concept that they had value really.
Yeah, I sort of remember the beginning of that, like video game. The video games had like that. There was finite supply, or how was that? There was some sort of digital, value. Was like I remember. I didn't play it in particular, but what is that game that was huge? It's a computer game. Uh, World of Warcraft, and I had roommates that were playing that game, and they were talking about how you could put all this time into playing that game, and then eventually sell your characters or whatever, and it was like for thousands and thousands of dollars. And that looking back, that was sort of like maybe the beginning of like that sort of idea. I don't know. Did you ever play that game?
No, but my flatmate used to play, and
Yeah.
he was addicted to that game.
Right.
He used to play for like 12 hours in a row, or I'm like, I'd be coming down for breakfast and he'd be just going to bed. So yeah, I know people got quite addicted. That wasn't the kind of game I liked, so luckily I didn't get into that. But you're definitely right about the value people were creating in the game and selling on characters.
Yeah, my roommates would do the same thing. They'd stay up all night, and then I'm like, "You got lecture here in a little bit." Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the same thing. So, what about from like? It's obviously you had the tech. You were always interested in tech, or at least from college on, or what about economics? Did you have like? Did you read a lot of economics, or what was your what did in particular with money? A lot of people have sort of either the tech or the economics interest. What about economics? Did you have both, or?
I was not interested in economics at all uh, until I basically had a couple of iPhone games when the App Store first came out that went like one of them went to number one and one was like number two in the pay chart. So I got quite a lot of money quite quick for my business that I just started.
That's
And
impressive.
yeah, it was more luck to be honest because it was just right place, right time.
Okay.
And they're only number one for like a day. And so I got quite a lot of money quite quick. So I thought that's when I learned about economics really, like what types of things you invest in, the fees that come with investing, and just everything. Like I just consumed loads of books about it. It wasn't
Yeah.
like came up when you get money, then you suddenly become interested. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's funny. It's either I feel like there's like maybe a spectrum where either you have no money and you're really interested in economics, or I don't know if there's like the middle road is much or you have a lot of money. That's Murray Roth. I think it was Murray Rothbard or somebody. I'm a big Austrian school economics fan, and I've consumed so many of his lectures and stuff, but I can't remember who it was. But they talk about that, about how people get interested in economics. So what? Not to pry, but what were were you interested in stocks when that happened? When you started getting the money from the apps, or
Yeah, so I was interested in basically. I went to some financial advisors and to basically set up a pension, that kind of thing. And so I read a few books to see like what to do. And a lot of the books that I read said that it was the fees that get you. It's the fees. Like I'm always taking like 1% a year and that kind of thing. So I I didn't get into stocks, but got into more like ETFs. So I wasn't picking stocks or anything, and I wasn't trading. It was just to like get an investment portfolio together I could manage myself.
Very nice. So let's get into the fun stuff, the really fun stuff now. When did you stumble, or how did you get into Bitcoin?
Yeah, so I remember Bitcoin. It was about 2011, and it was getting, and there was like a big price, and I don't know, I can't remember how much it was, like $20 or something like that, and 100 or something, and it was just like I was interested in tech, and I just heard about it. I think I downloaded like the Bitcoin Core wallet and got some off of Faucet, some Bitcoin off of Faucet or something, just tried it.
Right.
But I remember trying it thinking this is rubbish. Not because it was slow or like it was hard to use. It was because you had to like copy and paste everything. I was like, oh, this is not user friendly. I was like, maybe if it was more user friendly, it would be better.
Do you remember where you saw it first, or how exactly you came across
I
it?
think it was just on the news. I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Yeah, I know.
Like I saw it, I downloaded it, and like like at the weekend, and then just got some and put it in the wallet and went, oh yeah. And then I didn't look at it again till the next time it went up. Every like 3 years, I seemed to get interested.
Right. So how long after that did you start looking at like running a node and all that? Because I know you run the Lightning node now. Was that years after? Or?
Oh yeah, I didn't. I never run a node until last year.
Oh, okay.
I did actually know. I did do some mining though. I got one of those butterfly labs. Do you remember them?
Mm-hmm.
This little tiny jalapeno, like there's this little box thing.
Yeah.
Like the worst miner you could possibly get, and I think it came so late it was like almost not worth turning on. But yeah, it wasn't until like last year I really took it seriously and actually set something up.
When you said 2011, and then you started getting more interested, like the next time the price went up. So maybe
it was like 2013, I think.
Yeah,
when I got a miner.
Okay.
And then I was still like, this is still the user interface hadn't changed. I think it was on the wallet I downloaded 2 years before. It still looks the same now. I think the Bitcoin Core QT wallet or whatever it is like exactly the same. So I don't know. Yeah, 2013. I was still like not really super interested, but I'm interested enough. I bought some. I learned a bit more about the economics, and I invested a little tiny amount.
Right. So do you still have the Bitcoin from back then, or did you, not to say like those exact Bitcoin maybe with those private keys, but did you, like, I personally started running a node like when I didn't even know what a node was. Like, I just started running a node to see the transactions validate and all that in 2011 or 10, and soon after my Mac Mini hard drive collapsed. So I lost those coins. That's what I'm asking. Like, did you lose, or did you have any sort of those growing pains?
No, so basically, I think in 2013, I think it was 2013 or 2014, I lost interest in it. Was that like the big bear market? I can't remember. For some reason, I lost interest. So I just put everything I had on like paper wallet. I'm just going to put this on a paper wallet. And
yeah, that's smart, actually.
So I never really, if I lost any coins, I've forgotten that I lost them. So that's the good place to be, I think. I don't want to remember. The only time I lost coins was on the Cryptsy exchange. I had some Litecoin, and that one, the guy ran away with everyone's money.
I remember the early days when you were talking. A lot of people still don't know how to make a paper wallet, but I remember like making paper wallets for people, and they didn't realize that you would, like, if you were like dishonest, you could have like just take their money. It's just funny looking back at how little people knew, and still like the new people don't know. Like, if a dishonest person could have really made a killing back then.
I think it is like 2014 when I made my paper wallet to put all of just, basically be like, I've got to concentrate on other stuff, not Bitcoin.
Right.
Put on the paper wallet, and I did a load of $10, like £10 or presents in paper wallets and gave them to everyone as a secret Santa.
That's cool.
So then, it was funny. Like 4 years later, when the 20K hit, and all my friends were messaging me, and how much is my Bitcoin on that paper wallet worth now? And it was like $400 or something.
Nice. Yeah, they had to love that.
Yeah, that was good.
Hopefully you brought them into Bitcoin too. At least maybe a couple of them stuck around.
Yeah. I don't know if they did. They just want to know how much their bit of paper's worth.
Yeah. So what do you think as far as like are you interested in any other projects?
What, cryptocurrency?
Yeah, like are you interested in Ethereum or I'm really into Chainlink right now. As like I think that they're going to do a lot of good for the entire ecosystem as the Oracle solution and stuff. Is there anything else that you're interested in?
I'm really interested in something that I don't shout about because I worry that people will judge me for it. But I'm sure your listeners won't. I really like in the UK they've done a paper. The Bank of England did a paper about a cryptocurrency for fiat, and I really like it because I have to use fiat all the time, and like every day, I'd say 99.9% I'm using fiat. And I would much prefer to have my fiat, have the private keys to my fiat, digital money, than it being a credit note from a bank.
Yeah, I actually saw your post about that recently on Twitter.
Way better.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even I'm not a proponent of fiat. I hate fiat, and I'm sure you don't care for it either. But if you have to use it, why not be the holder of the keys or however they want to do it, right?
Yeah, I'd much rather have like money from the Bank of England Treasury money than money that isn't money, it's just credit. Yeah,
did you read that paper then? It sounds like you did.
Yeah, it's kind of an exploratory thing, and I don't think they'll ever be able to do it because I can't imagine why anyone would want to keep their money in the bank anymore.
Right.
And then that means all like what's the point of banks? I think that's one of the reasons I do like it is because I believe most of the issues we face is because of credit, not necessarily fiat. And if this Bank of England Treasury money is a thing, I think it's like the best chance you have of taming credit and stopping banks giving money to the richest people who've got the most collateral. And I think it would actually make a difference to the world because credit wouldn't go out of control.
Right.
Everyone would just have their money they would just hold their own money,
I do. I think that's the end game. I don't know if that everybody will end up having be their own bank. I see like very few banks existing in like the next. It could happen faster than like the internet really took like 30 years to explode, something like that. I could see we're in the year 11 now of Bitcoin. I could see maybe in the next 10 years we already start to see like a decrease in banks, at least brick and mortar banks. What do you think? You think that could happen?
No, because just to be a bit of a contrarian.
Okay.
I don't think Bitcoin can like take over in that respect until it's seen as currency by governments, because the fact that you have to keep track of your purchases for capital gains stuff, like it just makes it unusable. There's no every time I make a payment on the Lightning Network, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to like keep track of this.
Right.
Especially as a company, I can't just like do everything willy nilly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a British term.
No, we use it. We use it a little bit here.
Okay, hopefully it means the same.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I think if you didn't have to keep track of it for tax purposes, all your payments, then it would have a much more of a chance. I think a lot of people have their head in the sand about that problem. I think that's probably the biggest problem.
So you don't interfaces. Yeah, I understand that. And central banks aren't just going to give up on the grasp they have. So it's going to take a while. But here in the U.S., they're actually proposing legislation that purchase or anytime you spend over, I think it's or under a couple $100, like $200 or something like that, that you don't actually have to report it as a taxable event. So maybe I sort of think that
You have to keep track of all of these.
right.
You don't have to pay tax. You don't have to report it, but you still need to keep track of it to know that you've done it under 100.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah.
I think if none of this, if there was just no tax on it at all, then yeah, it would have it'd get much better adoption. Because I just think people even Jack Mallers changed his whole pivoted on one of his businesses, didn't he, or one of his products to do a payment from fiat to the Strike product.
Okay. What about in particular, since we're on the case of fiat currencies in the Bank of England? I just looked at the exchange rate yesterday. I think or the day before, it was Friday. The exchange rate or it's $1 to $1.23 pounds sterling. What is so the United States is just out of control printing money and we're just helicopter, the meme is money printing go burr, So what is the Bank of England doing? Are they up to the same sort of debauchery?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. But the thing is, people in England and the UK don't really question it. Oh yeah, brilliant, good. Yeah, they've got the money they need. They don't. No one really cares.
So people in England, they're a bit more statist than you would say in the United.
What do you mean?
I'm more of an anti-state guy. I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I just believe in the free market and that we can do everything privately. Over there, people are a bit more trust in the government. Let's just put our trust in the government, right?
100%, yeah. So it's very socialist here, but people don't realise they're socialists. That it is. People would vote for a right-wing party. We've got a right-wing party in at the moment, but everyone's very happy to take the money, the free money at the moment, to help them through. They don't realise that that's a socialist thing to do.
So over here, what's his name? He was pretty popular for a long time over there amongst the right, or whatever you want to call it. I think Nigel Farage, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is he an extremist over there? Compared to the status quo.
Yeah, he is. I wouldn't say he's extremist, but he's very. There's a small minority of people who like him, I would say.
Okay.
He's never been a politician. He's not a politician. He's never held he was a politician in the EU, but not in the UK. He's never been able to get into any government post.
He's quite a character, so I had to. We got on that topic.
He's just a shock factor to get publicity. I don't even necessarily think he believes what he says.
Yeah. So let's get back onto Bitcoin. How hard was it for you to get your applications, your app your gaming app in the iOS and Google Play Store?
It was not too hard, actually. I did a lot of research before. So the way that I designed the game, there's a competition where you don't just win Bitcoin. You have to collect raffle tickets in the game. And then once per day, there's just a raffle, and then you can just win some Bitcoin in the raffle. So I didn't just come up with that design and then hope it would get in. I read the rules of Google Play and App Store to determine what was going to be allowed, because Google Play is very anti-winning money for skill-based games.
Mm-hmm.
So I was nervous about getting it in the App Store, but I didn't seem to have any issues. And the business model is similar to a lot of other games in the App Store that give away real money, well, not real money, but fiat money. So there was already kind of a case. The only reason it wouldn't get in is because it was cryptocurrency.
So what did you have to get a legal team put together for that?
Yeah. So I have a sort of outsourced legal company that I've used for trademarks in the past, and some other copyright things. So I reached out to them, and they basically wrote up, terms and conditions for the competition, to make sure I wasn't the exposure was correct from my company, and that it was correctly domiciled in the UK, the competition. So yeah, I had a legal team, and it wasn't a lot, just a small document that's when the user signs up to the game, they have to agree to.
How long did it take from like the time you started like researching how, you said you read terms and conditions and all that stuff to make sure you were up to speed on that and you didn't make any mistakes? How long did it take for you once, to get like the whole process of getting into those stores? And which one was easier to get into?
So I started the project around the end of October, which was when the Lightning Network conference was in Berlin.
Oh, cool.
And it got in. It was really cool. The apps got accepted in the app stores literally like 2 days before Christmas. So it was like the ultimate Christmas present. I was like really worried about it, that it would get rejected for an unknown reason to me. So yeah, it didn't take too long.
And what you're the only developer on this, or are there? I know you're the chief developer, but is there anyone else involved?
There's another guy who has worked with me for a long time, maybe 5 years. We worked on other games together. So yeah, there's two of us working on it. He is quite private though. He's not really into the Bitcoin scene, so to speak.
Yeah, he's more into the creation of the games and stuff.
Yeah. So he works on he's the main game developer, and I work on the game design and the back end side of things.
Yeah, how many games have you made so far with this?
So there's just one Bitcoin game.
Okay.
We do have a second game that we're working on to release it, but we're kind of trying to make the first one work. The first game is still, the business model is not quite there yet, so there's not really much point expanding to another game until we've got this one monetizing well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the game gives away free money, so I need to can't just leave it like that.
It's pretty cool. I was playing, like I said, I got a little addicted to it earlier today. Even I was playing it for a few minutes today. I'm not a gamer per se, but I do enjoy playing games. It's a lot of fun. But you get busy with stuff, and then it's good to. It's actually fun to play while you're like working out or something on the treadmill if you're just walking.
Yeah.
You earn a little money for your time. So what's your roadmap for the rest of like 2020 on it for the site, for the game, for the app?
So yeah, in the short term, we're working on monetizing the game better. So we want the prize money to be much bigger. So at the moment, the prizes are very small because that's basically how much money is made in the game. But what I want to happen is increase the prize money, like the top prizes, to get much, much bigger. So it's almost like 1 million sats a day or something is the top prize.
That would be cool.
Something exciting. There'll still be all the small ones, so you can still win a little amount if you don't win the top. But just to make it more interesting. So we've got some things we're trying to work on with the monetization side, but it's quite challenging in the fact that a lot of these companies that you can use for mobile monetization are anti-crypto. So some of the ones I plan to use rejected my game. They said, we're not advertising on your game. Full stop.
Really?
Yeah, so I'd say it's 50-50 is like that. So it's normally the bigger ones. They're just too big to bother, learning about the game. They just reject it because it's got real money in it, not necessarily because of the competition. So yeah, we've been slow. We've had a few setbacks in terms of monetization. So that's next, and then after that, we're working on competition-based engagement with the players. So trying to make the game, like the lifetime of the game, longer, so people don't like if you just have no competitions, the game gets boring quite quick. But if there's like something new, different levels every day, so that's something we're trying to work on. And then we've got another game as well. So pretty full. I don't know if we'll finish all that in this year.
Yeah. How long does it take to make a game like Bitcoin Bounce?
That one only took a couple of months, but as you want to add more features like competitions, it just makes it more and more complicated, like adding leaderboards. So Bitcoin Bounce is a super simple game, and the reason I picked a simple game to start with was to make sure, number one, I could get the game on the App Store, and number two, people were interested in the prize-winning concept I came up with, because you don't just win Bitcoin directly, you have to enter into a secondary competition. So that was quite a quick one to do.
Yeah. So what? Will you have to? How does that work? Will you have to sort of apply for future games, or once you're in the app, you're in the app? How does that work? The App Store.
Yeah. Every time you do an update, they check it, and Apple they have people manually checking, and I know for a fact they've manually checked Bitcoin Bounce because they've emailed me about it before. And Google are a bit more automatic. They do automatic checks, but I think they do manual checks as well. Sorry, what was the question? I've kind of gone off on a tangent.
I'm just wondering how. Yeah, I think you answered it. How they make sure you're like in compliance with their rules. You add new games.
So every time you do an update, they check.
Okay.
And then every time you do a new game, they check, and I think they probably check more thoroughly as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's the things you never think about as just like a user, you know? Like I would have never thought, and then we're talking here, and that's just something that popped into my head. Like how do they know that you're staying in compliance with what they want? That's interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but I always try and be like, when I first released the game and they checked it for the first time, I put in loads of documents. I was not trying to hide what was in the game, because there's no point trying to sneak it in and then just getting kicked out later, is there?
Right.
It can take a while to get these things reviewed because they have to check all the documentation, the legal side.
So I sort of see like obviously with the advent of really the iPhone, and then Android made their devices, and they it's like Android, iPhone now. Like as obviously you create games for both, but I was thinking about this yesterday, how that was like the beginning of like, without that we wouldn't be able to, I don't think Bitcoin would be nearly as big. And I don't know, that gives us the ability to be like really take our bank in our pocket, and it wouldn't just be on like a PC or whatever. I sort of see the future of blockchains going mobile too. I think that being able to run a full node on your mobile device is going to be huge. Obviously, you see a lot of value in mobile gaming. So, is that the future of gaming? Is mobile gaming the future of gaming?
I think the future of gaming is virtual reality. That's like the first time I tried virtual reality. It was like when I first got a SNES, and it was like, whoa, this is amazing. It's like I hadn't had that same feeling for like 20 years of like being really impressed by a games console. So I think virtual reality is probably the future of gaming. Mobile gaming is always going to have its place because it's got its niche. You've got your mobile device on your way to work, and like you said, in the gym. So it's not necessarily the future; it'll just evolve. Mobile, but I think virtual reality. And you can see it in the Bitcoin space. There's lots of people even just doing meetups, and it's working well, isn't it? I know they're forced into virtual reality because of the environment we live, but every time there's a new meetup, it's getting more and more popular.
Yeah, that's interesting too. That takes it to another level. Like we're gonna be living inside there's already talk that we live in a simulation, and now we're like we're just stepping into it willingly. It is different. It's like this whole nother paradigm that some people have dipped their feet into, but not a lot yet. do you are you interested in like maybe developing some stuff for VR?
Yeah, I have got some game ideas for virtual reality and Bitcoin, but not. But it's so far like that's another walled garden. The virtual reality um, app stores are another kind of like you've got to have a really high quality product to get on there. So
Yeah.
it's kind of too like when it's just me and another guy. It's those kind of projects are too much of a risk. It would cost me like $100,000 or something to make the game or something. You know, it's like way out of my ability to. I could do it, but I would just not. I would lose $100,000.
Yeah, you gotta make that risk assessment, right?
Yeah, it's almost like I want to wait and see what other people do with if they can think of Bitcoin in gaming and VR, and then sort of join on because I'll have the skills. I'll know I'll be able to ramp up quick to do that kind of product.
Are you a gamer on like any other systems right now? Do you play like PS4 or Xbox One or anything like that?
Yeah, PS4, but not so much. I tend to because I work on games all day, and I often play because I do mobile games. I'm often like downloading games in the top of the app store and seeing like how it works. Like, and I have to play through the game to see when they deliver certain products and when they try and get you to buy something. And I have to think about the timing of what people are how they're trying to monetize their game. So I'm always playing mobile games, really.
Give an example of like something you've learned like that. I'm interested, like when a good time to release something would be, or do you have anything off the top of your head?
So what I was referring to was when you download a mobile game and you start playing it. For example, Crossy Road, I was playing yesterday, and you're playing it, and it doesn't overload you with you need to buy this, you need to buy that, here's this, buy that. It's not until like the next second day I was playing it, it started to then say, hey, why don't you buy this character? Or it would say, it would give you a character for free for three attempts. And then at the end of the three things, it would say, do you want to buy it? You know,
That's brilliant.
yeah, little things like that.
Yeah.
Another interesting anecdote is what some companies do is they measure how quickly you click on certain buttons as you play. So over time, like when you're on the second day of playing and there's like a retry button, they'll measure like how fast you click the retry button after you've died. And then they will be able to figure out how much you like their game. So if people clicking it really fast, they tend to maybe buy some more stuff. If you don't click it as fast, they won't show you as many purchase adverts because they know you're not as interested.
Right.
Like just all stuff like that.
That's cool. I know that you collect data on yours. It tells you right when you download the app. What kind of data are you privy to? Can you see that sort of thing in yours? Like how fast I click restart or whatever?
I could if I measured it, but I don't measure that kind of thing. I'm trying to be really good with the privacy. As you probably noticed when you played it today, in the game, you don't have to sign up. There's no like email to sign up, and you can just win Bitcoin. There's no like, I don't collect anything. I don't make you log in with Twitter, nothing. But there's still, for the advertising to work, there's still some data that gets collected. So on your phone, you have an advertising identifier, which is in your settings of your phone, which you can reset at any time. And what that does is it sends that identifier to an ad network along with your information like your phone you're using, your operating system, your battery life, probably loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But because it's tied to this advertising identifier, it's not actually tied to you. So at any point on your phone, you can go in and reset the advertising identifier and you're completely detached from all of that data that's been collected on you.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too bad, but I mean, it's just the nature of the business model I've chosen is because it's advertising is the monetization method, then you have to pass this information. Otherwise, the advertisers wouldn't know. They don't want to just target all phones, you know, they might only want to target people on an iPhone.
Right, yeah, and then location too. I mean, they want to know, what
country,
what restaurants are around you or what stores or whatever, right? So, or else the data is not really that valuable. Am I right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So yeah, I'm setting up. One of the other things I want to set up is Lightning Network ads. So someone could go to my website, a company, or like an amazing podcaster could go on there and promote their site or their product on my game, and then they would, because they know that the game is for crypto, they don't need to worry about all the targeting and measure and getting all the user data, because they already know, I'm a crypto company, I want to advertise to these crypto users. So they can just buy those ad spaces and there wouldn't need to be any data collection, which would be really good, much better.
Yeah, you just gave me an idea. I like that idea too. Maybe I need to get on there. Yeah, spread my podcast to all the all the Bitcoiners.
Yeah, because that's one of the things with the game is at the moment it's just got ads that are just kind of, I don't know if they're that relevant to people, but the ad network tries to give them the best ads they can. But it would be way better if in the game there's like these video ads at the end of every level. And it'd be way better if the video ads could teach the user about a Bitcoin product. So it could, for your podcast, for example, it'd be really good if it was like trying to get listeners to the podcast and it could, show clips of the podcast, best bits, and like sign up to the podcast. Or if it's, an exchange, it could teach the user how to buy Bitcoin in the videos, so that when they click on it and go to the website, they already know how to do it.
Yeah, that's another way to provide value. I think that's a good idea. I could see that definitely working out in for you guys. So let's just do a little. I like to, I don't make the show about price, but it is fun to talk about price. Let me do a little quick screen share here. It is Sunday, April 26, 2020. This is for posterity. So we're at 76.32 USD, up 1.1%. Ethereum at 195.10, 82 or 0.82% up, and then Chainlink is currently having a little bit of a down day. It's weird, down 1.68% and at $3.74. I like to cover that. And then his website's THNDR, thunder.games, while we're on here. Where do you see us heading into this halving? And where do you see, I sort of think I think the bull market started February 8th, 2019. And, there's these different pullbacks and stuff during the time frame. But where do you kind of, are you one of these guys that think we're going to head to 100,000 plus in the next 18 months? Or what do you think is going to happen?
It's tough, isn't it? I think I reckon after the halving, it was going to crash. I think we'll get to 8,000 or 9,000 and then halving and then back down to 6 or something,
That could happen.
Yeah, I don't think it will have much of an effect because no one's really talking about Bitcoin, so it's not, not lots of new people are coming into it. But I don't think maybe not 100,000 in the next couple of years, but maybe I do think it will get there. Maybe 5 years, perhaps. It's quite a long way away, isn't it? 100,000.
Yeah, I sort of think that we will see some fireworks in the next 18 months. After the halving, the last two, we saw crazy runs, thousands and thousands of percents, both times. Now that's only two times. This is the third halving. There's no way to say for sure that'll happen. I've had this number in my head for over a year now, and it's 65,000. And the stock to flow guy, Plan B, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He sort of released something about he thought some with stock to flow that we could see 70K on this whenever the bull market reaches its peak or whatever, that's likely. And that number just keeps coming up, 65, 70,000. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like maybe that with all the printing and stuff, maybe this is it would just be weird. It sort of seems like our moment to shine, maybe. I don't know.
The thing with the printing is that what no one ever talks about is in the UK, money is like 20% of it's fiat money, 80% is credit. And when there's a recession or depression, credit shrinks, right? So you can print more money, but the overall money supply might actually be less because the credit's gone down. So relying on the fact they're printing money to make, and then it will go up is speculative, I think. But I mean, I think it will go to 100,000, but I don't know when. Hopefully it goes to 100,000 this year.
Right. It could be. I think it'll be like 4 or 5 months after the halving. I sort of agree with you that we could see a pullback after. I still think we could see 10,000 into the halving. I don't think that's that crazy. I think we're like 2 good days away now. I said it's 6,800. I think it was Monday. I made a video that I thought we could maybe see 10K, and then we're up almost $1,000, 800 or 900 since then. So we're only like two really good days away now from 10K, 5 figures.
Yeah, but the backdrop of this halving is like a once in a generation, a once in 100-year pandemic. So
yeah, that's true.
Take the shine off it.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think people are going to. You're right about. I agree with your theory about how credit can, contracts during these times. But I do think that more people are like interested in money now more than ever. And they are going to look for a way to, and maybe not right now, but we are seeing more people interested in economics, and I think they're going to look for a way to avoid inflation. Like here, the dollar loses 4.5% a year to inflation. So, yeah, it's insane, man. So I really think that I think big things are in our future, but who knows? It's just fun to speculate,
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about like the next 10 years? Where do you see Bitcoin? Where are we going to be using it for our coffee purchases? Like that's sort of been like a hope for a long time, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think like I said earlier in the podcast that I like the fiat digital currencies. So I actually think they're going to take over where Bitcoin should have been taken over, just because the volatility of Bitcoin's made it hard for people to really. It gets the wrong type of adoption, doesn't it? It gets the gamblers and the degenerates, not the safe, not the cool people who just want to have safe, like spend money on coffees. So yeah, in 10 years, I think it can be adopted, and I think games is the way forward, which is why I've sort of committed to making this games company using Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is more special than normal money.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be adopted into games as prizes and that kind of thing. We already see that with gambling, it's adopted there.
Yeah, I think as I'm like the biggest free market advocate that you'll ever meet in your entire life. So I view people like you as like our great benefactors. Like you're like paving the way, because I feel so deeply about Bitcoin and the potential of blockchain technology. I sort of think that without people like you, especially, and people that are doing the hard work of like getting people involved, we aren't going to make that happen. But I sort of do think I sort of do think that we will keep gaining ground.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are definitely businesses that are getting traction, like Fold, for example. I really like that. Do you use Fold?
I'm not on there, but I know, I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't use it because I don't think it works in the UK yet. Or it works, but none of the retailers work. And there's stecking.com, which is just not a European version of that. So that's like the kind of cashback idea. So Bitcoin is a better, what's the word? Not cashback, like air miles,
Yeah.
Bitcoin is like just a
reward.
Yeah, and I think that works really well because it does have, people are using it for savings. It's going up in value, and we all think it's going to 100K. So it makes sense to use it as a really good hook for companies who want to give rewards, which is basically what my game is like a rewards giving game.
Right. I actually have two questions to wrap up here. I appreciate your time today. It's been fun.
Yeah, had a good time.
So what is the overall Bitcoin ethos in London, in that area. I really want to come over there and check it out soon, but obviously it might be a while before I can get over there. But what's it like over there in in the Bitcoin tech world?
Yeah, so there's a really good meetup group by Michael Foxton, I think that's how I pronounce his last name. Never said it out loud before, so I can spell it. And he organises like Socratic seminars, and there's sort of quite a few people go to that. I'd say they normally get about 20 to 30 people go, but there's like a pool of maybe 100, 200 people as part of that group. There's the Advancing Bitcoin Conference, which is organised by a guy called Leon in London. That was in January. That was really good. A lot of big Bitcoiners were there. Twitter famous Bitcoiners.
Yeah, like I know Max Kaiser used to do his show over there. Is there any like good speeches that you would recommend from those kind of events that I should look up, or that anybody should look up? I'm a big YouTube speech guy. I love to put on a speech.
I can't remember if there was anything particular. I don't know if they put it on YouTube yet. I'd just check it all out. It was only a short conference, like it was one day.
Oh.
One day was tech talks, and there was just one stage, and then the other day was seminars, which they didn't film, but you could just pick a seminar and that you'd learn about, like running a node, or it was cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so last question. This is how I wrap up the show. I kind of told you that Bitcoin's like, it means a lot to me, man. So I'm curious what I always ask this at the end. I think I forgot only one episode. What does Bitcoin mean to you?
It means freedom. From my perspective, it just means you don't have to ask permission to do anything. Like all my other businesses have been games, and you always have to be in someone else's system to get the money through it. And whereas now you can just go direct to people for your business, and there's no like the middleman thing for me, because Apple was my middleman, which is like the biggest company in the world, like in charge of my life basically for the past 10 years, and whether or not I could get any money. So the fact that I don't, like, if Apple said no, you can't put your app on the App Store, I'd be like, well, I'm just going to make it, on PC instead, and I'll still be able to get my money.
Right. Yeah,
so
I totally agree with you. I think it's the ability for people to just financial freedom, and I view it as like, I've always thought that this is like the best way to raise people out of poverty too, that really don't have a lot of opportunity. All you need is a cheap mobile phone or maybe a cheap laptop. You could even have a secondhand laptop and start a business online and start accepting Bitcoin, where there's so many barriers to entry with like legacy money, and especially if you're in like Africa or something where sending a wire is like 30% or whatever. They mark up. The poorest places in the world pay the highest fees. So Bitcoin to me is I agree with you. It's like it's just so empowering. But where would you recommend sending people? I showed your website. Do you want to shout it out again, and then your Twitter?
Yeah, so the website is thunder.games, THNDR.games, and you can download Bitcoin Bounce on there. And then our Twitter page is Thunder Games, THNDR Games.
Everybody go check it out. This is Jack Everitt, episode 18 of the Vires and Numeris podcast. I really appreciate you coming on. I'd like to do it again if you have time in the future.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, I had a great time.
All right, I'll say goodbye to you here in one moment. Thanks for coming on.